Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
One important detail?
What
the
could it
killer didn't know.
be?
For some reason they were convinced the door was locked, which means the important detail the killer didn't know was that the crime took place in my room because the doors were switched.
The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable!
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Then who did do it? I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't have to sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then... maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Ms. Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? He sounds like someone wants to know his place.
Oh my gosh.
What's your theory, babe? How did they get in?
Can't that be it?
Reason that there's no way. Well, obviously she didn't because they already discussed it, right? It's switching rooms because of that memory, right? That's the reason she didn't.
Triangle. Press triangle to present it.
I got it!
I know, I just want to check
Sayaka
this.
was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
How did they get in? Who it is? Sure, it's you. I won't even open it. Blah, blah, blah.
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What is the theory? How did they get
being
in?
scared was a lie.
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
Plot twist.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two in 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. check the nameplates and make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows.
I checked the notepad too. I wish I knew
You
that.
can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
Of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note, Sayaka wrote it.
But why? Why would she write that?
Was she planning with Baseball Boy to kill
The
him?
note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then, pay attention.
Jeez.
Make your argument.
Door nameplates, cool.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly, the room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
I don't know, should I just do this on any of
The
them?
note, the place they were
There is a correct one. Yeah.
specifically says, my room.
I see. So if
I'm gonna
someone
take the
read
last
that
one.
note,
Say.
then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly, the room that Makoto was staying in.
Thought that
So
was
in
it.
other words, even if
Shoot.
someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what
It certainly would seem that way.
Sorry, I'm so
Sayaka and Makoto
confused.
switched rooms. But in the note, it specifically says, my room.
That was wrong?
Yes. You lost the health. Oh.
Gosh.
No, baby.
There's a
Sayaka
contradiction
and
somewhere.
Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to,
It specifically I see. Then they would have gone to
exactly the room that
Hooray!
Stand.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
they got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates, and it would have had to have been Sayaka, because no one else knew, right?
Me and
Yes,
Sayaka
good
were the
job.
only ones who ever knew about us.
Using your
switching
facts and
rooms.
logic.
So the only other person besides me who would even know
You're gonna be a Ben Shapiro disciple soon.
Indeed.
You can also
You're saying I'm not
infer as
already?
much from her note.
This is the
You've been
entry
there.
exam.
Check the nameplates, make sure
She
you don't get the wrong
specifically
room.
tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?